Hi, Daddy.
Hey guys, Ash and Throw here, doing a quick boss strat rundown, Scalecaller Peak. Starting with the first boss, the tank is going to kite the big guy on the left in a circle around the room, counterclockwise, clockwise, doesn't matter. Center guy is going to get all the focus. He's going to do big poison circles, so you need to get out of there. Skeevers are going to spawn. You need to make sure that you're killing the skeevers on the outside of the room. Away from the tank that's kiting and away from the boss in the center, to make sure that if you have any melee DPS in the group, stam DPS in the group, that they're not stacking them up at the center, because they just leave a big ring of poison that just causes trouble for everybody. So you'll see here, we're going to kill a couple skeevers right in the center, and you see the big poison circles. Now we have to wait for those to disappear before melee can get back in there and get on the boss. So it's important to kill the skeevers on the outside of the room while the tank is consistently kiting. There's a mechanic where you're going to see ice shards kind of jaggedly shooting across the floor. If you are targeted, you need to run towards those jagged shards and get frozen in place. If you don't, when you're targeted, the targeted ice will kill you. It's a one-shot mechanic, so make sure you are getting frozen whenever you're targeted. The other big mechanic to look out for here is the stone or the ice pillars that the outside guy is going to lay, so you can hide behind them when the center guy raises his arms above his head a little bit and he creates a big ice shard above his head, and then he starts flinging ice at you. So you can see here, I'm targeted. That bright yellow thing is coming towards me. I'm going to go stand in there, get frozen, get busted out, and then we're going to continue to DPS the guy in the center and move on with the rest of the mechanics. Now, the reason why we don't kill the outside guy first is because we wouldn't have any ice pillars to hide behind when the guy in the center is doing his big AoE attack that kind of targets everybody with ice shards. And if we did the inside guy first, then we wouldn't have any of the spike shards on the ground to freeze ourselves in to stop the one-shot mechanic from the outside boss. So you virtually want to get the guy on the inside down to just under 10% and then switch to the outside guy, kill the outside guy that's on me right now, and then go back and kill the guy in the center really fast before we get caught in another mechanic. So these guys pretty much need to be going down at the exact same time, or else you're going to wipe. There's no way to get around that mechanic. You can get around that on normals if your healer's pretty good and on point, because you may not die from the mechanics, but you're going to be down to under 10% health. And if you get hit by a skeever poison, or the boss gets too close together, or whatever, you know, it doesn't take much to take that little sliver of health that you have left off. So again, yeah, hiding behind the pillars, waiting till the guy in the center, you can see him kind of casting that ice bolt above his head, just keep shooting, shooting, shooting. So you need to stay behind the pillar until it disappears, and then yeah, then you beat the first boss. Hope that helped somebody. We'll move on to the next. Alright, this boss is pretty easy, tank and spank fight. The tank's just gonna hold the guy there. He's probably gonna do a chunk of the DPS. The main things you need to watch out here for is the orbs that come down from the sides of the room. They will randomly target a player with a laser beam, and then one orb will come down and target a player with a laser beam really close. They're going to freeze that player. If that player is frozen, you need to run up to them and synergize them to break them out of that ice or rock or whatever it is, because if you don't, the main boss that the tank is tanking will turn and do a one-shot mechanic onto the frozen person. So it's important that you break those guys out as fast as possible. Other than that, as you can see, it's you just straight DPS and tank in one spot. Holding the guy in one spot versus kiting him around the room is so important, so you can burn down the ads, so you can burn down these orbs, so you've got room to synergize, so you're not chasing stuff all over the place. All the little ads can be DPS down, AoE down really quick. The tank doesn't need to pick them up. The tank just needs to focus on the boss, keep him stationary, and doing as much DPS as they can to him. while everybody else is dodging the little ads and synergizing each other out of those orbs. I've never tanked in here, so I don't know if there's a one-shot mechanic for tanks to have to look out for, if it can be just blocked through. I will have to check with Ab on that. He's our their designated tank for pretty much all the vet content that we do. We do have another guy that tanks really well for us, but he's mainly a DPS. He's not in this group right now. But yeah, you know, it does seem like it gets a little bit hairy, but it doesn't. There's only a couple ads, a couple synergies, kill the orbs, and then back to the boss. And I think Ab's gonna have this boss pretty much dead by the time we get this orb out of here, and these guys get me out of the rocks. So yeah, so that's this boss fight. It is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just remember, priority is synergizing your teammates. Kill the orbs, kill the ads, kill the boss, in that order. And we'll move on to the next one. So this boss is really easy. Ab's gonna make the boss jump there. We're gonna stand on this outside rock. All we're gonna do here is we're gonna DPS through it and heal through it. I don't know why we ended up doing it this way. I think the boss just kind of jumped on us here, so we just fought it here, but seems like it's a ridiculously easy strat. This is Ab's our tank's first time in here, my first time in here, Valkyrie's first time in here. I think Goat's been in here before. He's been playing a little bit longer than most of us. Now in this fight, if you do it in the center of the room, from what I understand, there's little poison volcanoes that are on the ground. The tank needs to go inside those little poison volcanoes and kind of block all that damage from hitting the rest of us, because there's these sirens or something on the outside that will cast that, and you can see all that junk kind of flying in from those guys. So it can be healed through pretty easily. I've tried to do a little bit more DPS than I should on that boss. That's why I died. And then we segue into the next boss. So all the green grates on the ground, there will be eruptions coming from those grates. It's the tank's responsibility to make sure that he's going and standing on those grates. Whether he blocks or not, I'm not sure. I know blocking through those grates would peel away all of the stamina of a tank. So what we do here on this boss fight, because this boss has a ton of health, is we listen to Jorvold on the left. He's going to call out ingredients. They're going to come from the ads that spawn in this room. So every time an ad spawns in this room, you can either go kill them right away and give Jorvold all the ingredients that he needs, or you can wait for him to call for skeevers or bat wings or whatever. And what he's going to do is he's going to randomly make a poison and put it in the middle of the room, kind of where I'm standing now, and that will cleanse the poison off you. Until then, it's just straight heal through everything, keep everybody topped up, and just burn the ads down. All of the moves are pretty telegraphed for this guy, so they're pretty easily dodgeable as long as you stay close to him. The further you are away from him, the wider those moves go, and the less time that you have to get out of the way. So see the green circle in the center here. Everything is increased when you're here. I'm not sure if there's a DPS increase from standing in the circle, but there could be. Yeah, so this boss has a ton of health, but it's rinse and repeat. Kill ads, tank stands in the bad, DPS them down, DPS the ads down, cleanse yourself in the poison, and kind of rinse and repeat. But this guy has a ton of health. He's got like 10 million health, so I'm just going to do a super fast zip through to the end, because there's not much to tell on this boss other than kill the ads, kill the boss, cleanse yourself, and oh, there is a big ad that comes in every once in a while, and he has a ton of health that the tank does need to pick up. If the big ad's not tanked, he can one-shot other players when he comes in. I did almost forget about that guy, so I'll hold off on fast forwarding this video until I see that next big guy come in, so you can see what he looks like. But he is not he's not a monster like a beetle or a bat or anything. He's actually just a big guy with a sword. So here's the twins, and hopefully that big guy comes in soon. There he is. He's coming from the door. You guys can see him kind of running in. So that guy needs to be picked up. He hits pretty hard, but he gets burnt pretty quick, so not really an issue for us. So I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this video. Well, this boss anyways. Zoom, 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 and alright, so this boss is down, and we're going to move into the final boss of the instance. This boss can be tricky if there's any kind of lag. There's quite a few mechanics to look out for at this boss. So we'll start at the beginning. You go in, you DPS, get her down, 10% probably before the first one pops. Now you're going to see kind of frost in the air, and you can see kind of two hard lines if you pay attention, and you'll know where the two ads are going to go that you need to kill as soon as possible. So frost is coming in, and look for the two hard lines. You can see one's popping here and one's popping at the door. These ads need to be killed ASAP. If you do not kill these ads, it's a wipe. After these ads are down, the boss will throw her shield. You need to stand in the shield. If you're not standing in a shield, you'll get killed by the one-shot mechanic from the 3 dragons that shoot ice. And then once you're done there, you get out, because the boss will do an AoE as they pick up their shield, which is also a one-shot mechanic. So each one of the dragons in the corner has a triangular or conal attack. It's narrow at the dragon's head and widens out. So that one that we just seen there in yellow, that was in the center of the room. So you always want to make sure that you're sitting at like, I'm going to say a 33.3% degree if you're looking at this like a big piece of pie cut into 3 other small pieces of pie. So you want to be kind of making sure that you're on the edge of things there. You can kind of see the lines when we get into this phase where the separation is between all the dragon breaths, but you never want to be caught inside one of those 3 sections. You want to be tiptoeing on the line between where the 2 sections would be. The next mechanic is the one that you see here. If you don't get in line with the person that she's got targeted, that will one-shot that person. So somebody, doesn't even need to be the tank, needs to go in there and just block that solid fire beam. This one's completely dodgeable. You shouldn't even get hit by it. But the one we're talking about is a solid beam of fire. It's like the Zaan's helmet that you get from this boss. It's actually exactly what that is. It's the Zaan's helmet monster set proc, which you'll see after you beat this boss and you get that helmet. It's pretty cool, and it's a great DPS helmet. So again, you see the 2 lines of frost that are coming out. You're going to kill these ads as fast as possible. Again, healer, you gotta be on point, healing as much as possible, making sure the DPS can get it down, get into the shield, and there's the 3, then we pop out of here, and we continue to DPS the boss, while kind of watching out for that mechanic. So I'll call out that, the mechanic that you have to go into and interrupt right there. See the tanks in front of that, because I can't move at all. If I eat that whole thing, or if anybody eats the whole thing, they die. So you see the hard lines coming out of that center one. So right where I'm standing right now would be a perfect spot to not get hit by anything. Right there, we almost got caught again because I was in the middle trying to raise. It is a lot of situational awareness here, and making sure that you're in a good spot when you're doing any of the raises for a quick roll dodge if you need to get out of the way, like right there. And dodging fire, and we rinse and repeat this boss. So there's a lot of mechanics, there's a lot to look out for. As long as you're in communication with your team, right there, that's the Zaan proc that needs to be blocked. And yeah, we just kind of peel her down and make sure you're in a good position. That mechanic will one-shot anybody, tanks, anything. If you get caught by one of those 3 dragon fires, you're dead. That's why any kind of lag sucks, because you can roll dodge out of that, but if you're lagging even a little bit, the game doesn't pick it up, and you die, and it can cause a wipe. So it's just something to be on the lookout for. But that's why I say, if you're in one of those 2 positions in here, fighting these dragons, then you're going to be okay and you're not going to die. I have no idea how Spike didn't die there. It was nuts to me. I'm wondering if the shield being right in front of the dragon head kind of blocked it because we were in it. I don't know. It's on proc, and yeah, this is pretty much it for Scalecaller Peak. I do live streams 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Might be bumping that down to 2. And I try to make some of these strat videos to help people when I can and post them onto YouTube. I do stream on Twitch. But again, my content videos where I do strat videos, stuff like that, I'm just starting to get those together, and those will go on YouTube and on my Facebook page. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped out anybody at all. And yeah, guys, have fun. This is a great game. It's still a top MMO out there. Community's really good. So yeah, come out, give this game a chance, peeps, and hope to see you in Tamriel sometime soon. Have an awesome day. Thanks for watching.